what to do. I've got all these scraps. I've got these pre-cuts here. What could I make? Well, I could make a quilt. I don't really have time to make a quilt. And I already have a lot of quilts projects in play, so I don't really want to add to my list. So what could I make? I know. I'm going to make a coaster. These are really cool, and I could use up a good amount of my scraps, and they don't even have to match. They could be really scrappy. I could do them all different colors. That could be really fun. So I'm going to share with you today how to make this. So go and grab your scraps and let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back. So I'm going to show you how to make my Scrappy 2-in-1 coaster. And these are nice because they act both as a glass marker, so it slips on the bottom of your glass, or you can just sit a mug on them. You're going to need an object that is round, that's about 4.5 inches in diameter. You'll need some pins, some clips. If you have a glue stick, this is optional, and I'll show you what I'm going to use that for. A friction pen or a water-soluble pen. You can either use scissors or a small rotary cutter. And then you'll need something as a turning tool for this project. And then you will need some fabric that will allow you to cut out 5 circles. So I'm just going to use pre-cuts to keep things simple today. This is just a charm pack that I have. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my template and I'm going to draw 5 circles. And I'm just going to use my friction pen, but you can also use a water-soluble pen or a pencil, whatever you've got. And that'll work great. And so you'll just go all the way around, and then you'll just do this 5 times. Then once I have them all drawn, I'll just cut them out. I'm going to use my scissors. I find that these are a little easier to use, but you could use a rotary cutter if you're comfortable, and I would use a smaller one since we're doing round shapes. I have my 5 circles all cut out, so I'm going to show you how to put this together. So pick one of them to be your bottom piece. You're going to put that right side up. I did starch mine a little bit. That is completely optional. I just find having a little body on these just makes it a little easier for them to go together. But again, it is optional. Then I'm going to fold my other pieces, my other 4, in half. You just want to make sure that the edges are all lined up when you fold it. And then you're just going to lay it down. And you're going to want to make sure the edges are all lined up. And this is where I'm going to do. So I just put a little bit of glue on the edges just to help hold it in place. Because I find that the trickiest thing with these is keeping the edges to line up when you are sewing them. And I find that the glue really does help, as well as doing a little bit of starch. Then fold the next one down and just lay it here. And again, I'm just going to just make sure it's really even. Okay, and then fold this next one, and you'll just lay that down on top of that one. Okay, and then we'll do our last piece. You can just finger press. You can certainly use your iron if you want to press them. Just there. And then what you're going to do is lift this one up. So you don't want to get too crazy on the glue, as you can see there, because I had to pull that piece up. But with the glue stick, it just comes up. You can use an Elmer's glue stick too, that they work. As long as it's water soluble and it washes out, you can use it. All right, then once I have them all laid out, so basically you're going to end up with 4 of each fabric, then I'm I'm going to pin it. I pin it kind of in the middle. Again, this is another tip with this. And then I also will then clip it. And I'm going to look at my edges and make sure I got everything lined up. So I have mine all pinned and clipped together. I'm going to take it to my machine. I have my walking foot on my machine. You don't need a walking foot on your machine to make these. It's just a little bit easier when you have several layers of fabric like you do with these coasters. So I'm going to go sew a 1/4 inch seam, and then I will show you what we do next. I've sewn all the way around. I did a 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to snip just up to the seam line in a few spots. It just makes it a little easier to turn it right side out. Then you just turn it right side out, and then you'll just need your turning tool to kind of round the shape out. And if you want to get that bulk out, you could, trim that seam down. I would recommend that you turn it right side out first and just make sure that you did catch all of your layers of fabric first. And then there you have it. This one, I probably could shape it a little bit more, but there it is. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. But for now, I wish you well, and most of all, be quilting.